Welcome back to another episode of Heat of the Drum. Exciting episode, I hope. Today we're doing ribs, baby back ribs. Now, they're not going to be, these are going to be eaten ribs. Basically, your backyard barbecue ribs. We're not looking for anything like a competition style, trying to make them look pretty or anything like that. We want to make them taste good, and we're going to do that on this drum smoker. So, I know some of you guys probably been wondering, where's he always standing at when he's out here making these videos? So I'm going to come behind that camera and just kind of show you where I'm actually at. This is my side patio. It's kind of an outdoor kitchen area. I call it my smoke shack. And basically, it's got a counter, a sink, it's got a grill, big old oil fryer over there. Right now, it's all winterized. That's why this tarp's here. Try to keep the wind out of here and stuff. And yeah, I'll show you a little bit. Okay, so yeah, you can see, like I said, it's winterized right now. It's nothing too spectacular, but this all opens up in the summertime. Kind of show you what the outside looks like a little bit here. There's my drum smoker. This is kind of the outside of it right here. And look at all that snow. Crazy, huh? Look at this. This right here is where I keep all my charcoal. But yeah, figured I'd just show you guys that in case you were curious. All right, let's get this drum cleaned out and go from there. Okay, so I got a new toy this week, a new grill brush. Believe it or not, last week when I was scraping off my scraper, with my scraper, I was smacking it on the side of the trash can and it snapped right in half. So I picked this up. It's a Char-Broil. It's not the wire bristle. I know a lot of people are worried about the wires breaking off when you're scraping your grates and ending up in your food. And it's definitely is a concern. You got to be careful and you got to watch out for that. But I seen this and I thought, well, you know what? Let's try it out. Now, the only thing is you can't use this on a hot grate. So that's fine with me. I scrape all of mine before they get hot. So that shouldn't be a big deal. But we'll give her a try. See how it goes. Let's give this bad boy a try and see what it does. And bristles are definitely stiff. Kind of jams up a little bit more than the wire brush one that I was using. What I like to do is scrape these things, and then when the heating up process of cooking the food or getting the fire and the smoker ready to cook the food, these things will be on for probably about 40 minutes before the meat goes on. And that gets them nice and hot, gets all that stuff to come off easy. So yeah, overall impression, not bad. Get this restrictor plate cleaned off. not much to that usually. And this one is not bad because this is down below and there's no food sitting on this. So this one's usually not that bad. I just seen one of them bristles break off on this thing, so yeah, I don't know. All right, those are good to go. Okay, so there's a charcoal basket. Got my chain already in here. Let's go ahead and pull this bad boy straight up. And we'll take her over and empty out all the ash. And that's good. Okay, if you're curious about what we're using for charcoal today, I just picked up a fresh bag of Kingsford and a fresh bag of Cowboy lump. Like I said, I always mix Kingsford with some sort of lump. I just happen to be getting a lot of Cowboy lately because it's available. And I'll show you how I fill my charcoal containers up. Okay, so what I got here is a couple of these containers on wheels that I put my charcoal in. So got that one there for normal briquettes, and then this one here I use for all the lump. It's got a rubber seal around the edge here to seal out any moisture, and just a little plastic little latch there. But yeah, it's pretty convenient. So okay, so if you were with me on the last video, you know I like to kind of mix my charcoal up. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to start out putting some lump in there. And like I said in the last video, I reuse all this charcoal. A lot of people throw it out. You know, like I said before, that some people say, oh, it'll never burn. Some people say, yeah, it will burn. I'm a believer that it will burn because I just keep adding. I shake out all the ash and then just add to my coals. So I just layer little lump, little coal. We're going for probably about a 3.5 hour smoke on these, I'm assuming today. If it goes as planned, as normal. So we're gonna, all we need to do is fill this up about halfway, and I'm good. We're almost there. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that right there. So let's get the wood in. Okay, today we're going to use apple. I like to use apple on ribs. So we got a nice chunk here. I'm going to put him in there. And like I said on the last video, I like to protect my wood at first because I don't want it to burn up before I even get the food on there. So, you know, just kind of mess around with it a little bit, try to find a good way to protect it. I'm going to be too crazy with it. Just give it a little protection. So I got that big chunk, and the rest is kind of some shards. So let me get rid of some of these. Come over here and drop those on this other side right here. Those in there. The wind is picking up, people. But no place I'd rather be than right here getting ready to cook some ribs. It's going to be smelling phenomenal. for too long. And that's going to do it. That should be a good enough amount of wood right there. Okay, let's get the chimney filled up. Yeah, I'll drop that little chunk in there. Get the chimney filled up, and we're going to be lighting up. Okay, same deal with the chimney. Fill this about 3/4 of the way. That's what I normally do. I'm gonna add some coals. Add some lump. Sometimes it's just easier to grab it with your hands. You might notice these funky looking gloves. They're just leather gloves. They're dirty from handling coals and grates and stuff like that. But I'll tell you what, they work great. Just use them for that. All right. More chunks on there. And yeah, I'm good with that. And we're just going to lower straight down in. And try to center it best you can, just eyeballing. And that looks pretty close. My chain back off. Okay, I know some people like to start their fire down the basket, but as you see, I was filling that chimney, so I like to use the chimney. So what I do is I set this in on my second level. I come down here and I open that bottom damper all the way. Put the chimney in there. Once again, we come over here, and I showed you guys these last week. These Weber lighter cubes, even though it shows to use 2 of them on the box, is because they want you to use double the amount, but I use 1 every time, so you get 24 smokes out of 1 box of these. And they just went up in price. They were $6.99. I think they're $8.99 now, but still worth it to me. So let's get it lit. Let me grab one of these. Like I said, they're just in there kind of like a ice cube tray. Kind of a waxy thing. One's all you need. There we go. Okay. Drop that on there. It's going to take about 15-20 minutes. Once we start seeing some flames come out of there, we'll come out and I'll dump in the basket and show you how I do that. I kind of overlooked showing that last time and missed that, so I'll try to capture that for you this time. So about 20 minutes, we'll dump it. I'll bring you back. Okay, definitely got flame. Probably waited a couple minutes too long, but go ahead and dump her in. We got over here, we got a bowl of water. I always use water, and my restrictor plate. That's hot water. And we'll get everything loaded up. Let me grab my gloves. Okay, so what I do is I grab this, pull this grate off. I usually knock that's what's left of that cube, and knock him to the ground. Come on in. And I'm going to dump it. And then what I'm going to do is quickly, I got this thing. See how that coal was on that wood? I don't want it burning my wood yet. So I'm going to pull that away from my wood, just like that. And actually, that's not too bad right there. I'm going to come down here, my third level, put that grate on there. In goes the restrictor plate and my water bowl directly in the center. I'm going to leave this lid off for 5 minutes. Let that thing get going a little bit. In 5 minutes, I'm going to put the lid on. I'll bring you back for that. Okay, it's been 5 minutes, so now my cooking grate, we're going to be cooking on the top here. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. Get our temperature probe in. Like I said on my first video, and probably mentioned it on the last one too for sure, I don't have a thermometer on here. Watch my first video. I talk a lot about how I made this drum and the choices I made when I was making that drum. So I took it off. I only use this digital. So we get that in there. I'm going to get her plugged in. This thing turned on. And get our lid on. What I want to see happen, today's temperature, we're going to cook these ribs right around 250. That's the target temp. So when this smoker reaches 265, I'm going to set my damper baffle at the bottom there. So let me get my thermometer set here. So let's see here. We're going to go ahead and set this for 265. That one's set. We'll go ahead and change the other one for our meat. This is about 205, 203, 205 in that range. I like to just set it for 205. And we'll go with that. So we'll lower that one down. That's this one here. So that's set at 205. And the bottom one is set at 265. So it'll go off. Let me know, hey, it's time to set your damper down there. Right now we're 215. Sometimes it happens really quick, and sometimes it might take a few minutes. There's been times when it's taken 20, 30 minutes. It just really depends on what's going on weather-wise and all that jazz. So it's 227, so it's not going to be long. 234. I mean, it might happen like real quick. So I'll bring you back when that happens. Okay, right there, we just hit our 265 mark. So now it's time to set the damper down there. Let me shut this off. And like I said in the last video, you guys need to learn your smoker if you're going to make one of these. I pretty much know where I need to be, and I just measure my air hole right here. And for 250, I need to be about 5/16 of an inch opening. So I'm just going to measure that like I always do. Yeah, right there. Okay, so from the time I light that chimney to the time the meat goes on is always 1 hour for me. I have this routine that I do. You just seen part of the routine of getting the damper set. So we'll see how much time we got left before we get to that hour. But no matter what, at 1 hour, after lighting that chimney, I'm putting meat on. So let's go ahead and get in there and prep those ribs. And we'll be looking to put these on soon. Okay, right here's our ingredients for our rub. So let's put that together. Got 1/3 cup brown sugar. Look at my list here. We got 4 teaspoons smoked paprika. Go in there. Boom. 1 teaspoon onion powder. 1 teaspoon garlic powder. Now this here, I got a mixture of chipotle chili pepper, 1 teaspoon, and 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Right here. Over here, we got 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. And we'll get that all mixed together. And there it is. Looks pretty good. Let's get the ribs prepped. All right, here's our ribs. So Nothing special, just grocery store ribs. These are Prairie Fresh, natural, baby back ribs. Let's see here. This is 3.6 pounds. So let's get it cut open. We'll get the membrane tore off the back, and we'll get the rub going on there. Looks like a nice meaty slab. Thrown away. Okay, so a lot of people leave the membrane on and a lot of people take it off. I always take it off. So it's not that hard. Just I'll bring you in to get a closer look. Okay, and this is where I made a bad mistake. I thought I was turning the camera back on, and I actually turned it off. So what you're going to see here is you're not going to see the membrane coming off or me putting the rub on. So it'll resume again with the rub already on, but I'm assuming you people already know how to take a membrane off and put a rub on. Okay, I lost the footage of me putting the rub on, but basically, you know how to put a rub on. We mixed it up, we made it. I got some on the back, put it on there, and they're sweating out right now. And we're getting ready to take these out there and drop them on the smoker. So I'll see you out there. Okay, so we're getting ready to put the ribs on. Our target temp for our smoker is 250. Right now we're reading 248, so we're right in there. We're going to go ahead and quickly put them on. Remember, with drum smokers, you got to move quick. And I like to push them in together like that, kind of square them up a little bit. Make sure they're nice and centered. And get the lid back on. We'll be back in 1 hour, and then we're going to rotate. Okay, so here we are. We're 1 hour in. We're getting ready to rotate these ribs. Grab my gloves here. The temperature, remember our target temp is 250. We're running at 254. So that's really good. We're right in that comfort zone. Getting pretty good. Nice color. And the reason I'm doing this is I just want to get it an even cook on this. So, in case, say your smoker is running a little hot on one side and not as hot on the other, well then, we're just trying to even things out. Now we'll get the lid back on. Now we're going to be looking at these in another hour, and we're going to see, where they're at, and probably be wrapping. Okay, we're at the 2 hour mark. I'm going to take a look at these. Right now, before I open it up, the smoker is 264. So our target temp is 250. So we're right in, still in that comfort zone. Like I said, you're going to have like a 20-degree swing either way, and that's how it usually seems to go. And it could get higher than that or lower than that, but you usually got to expect that 20-degree swing. So I feel really good. So let's take a look at them. Yeah, they are looking really nice. Okay, so about 140-ish. Not bad. We're still going to take them in and wrap them because they're looking good, and I think they need to be wrapped. So let's grab them off of here, and we'll take them in. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's our ribs. I'll show you what we're going to do here. Need to wrap these bad boys up. That there. I'm going to get our foil. Nice piece of foil. This is unsalted butter. And we need to get some pats of this down on this foil. So we're just going to take this out like such. Just leave it on there. I'm going to grab this little knife. And we're going to put some pats of butter. I think we're going to do 3 pats. Then what I got here is honey. Going for that sweet heat, so we're going to drizzle a little bit of honey down in here. Nothing crazy. Right there, that'll work. Now I'm going to take our ribs and we're going to go meat side down, right on top of that butter. Oh man, things are looking really good. What are we going to do on this side? Same exact thing. 3 more pats of butter. Just like that. And a little bit more honey. Nothing crazy on this side. We're just going to go one time over. Okay, so we'll just kind of center that. And now we're going to wrap. And we'll bring this side in. You got to be careful. You don't want to rip your foil. So come up over the top. And then bring this one up over the top. Like such. Now we're going to get our temperature probe in. Just like that. All right, go out and put them on. Okay, here we are. So take the lid off. And we got our wrapped ribs. Just going to put right just like that. Got our antenna, or not our antenna, but our temp thermometer right there. And we're good. Now we're going to monitor this temperature. It's running a little bit lower than I would like, but it's cold out. You can see my breath. So, but we're looking for that 203, 205-ish, right around there. And that's going to give us some tender ribs. And then after that, we're going to sauce them up. One more thing we're doing tonight is we're doing can of beans too. So we're just going to pour that into our little cast iron. So I'm going to take that out there and put that right on there just like this. Okay, so I just put these ribs on about 2 or 3 minutes ago, and I forgot to put our beans on, so that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to be real quick about it. Right there. Okay, so we're reading 205 on the meat, and the smoker is 275. So it's about 25 degrees more than what we'd like, but I told you it's always going to have swings here and there, and that's what happened from the last time I took the lid off. So let's check them out. Let's see how tender these really are. We got to stir the beans anyway. So we're going to go in here, and let's try to get a reading here. Let's see what it says down here. That's where that thermometer is at. It is 203. So it's definitely hotter there. I think what's going to happen is we're going to rotate these around. I got to stir these beans and let them go just a little bit longer, I think. I'm just going to leave them the way they are. Okay, so we're going to take a look at these ribs again. Spend a few more minutes. And we're going to see where we're at on this thing. Turn this thermometer on. Okay, so we know what we were doing down here. We want to see down here on this end. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate these ribs. Set that over there. I'm just going to pick these guys up and rotate them this way. Just like just going to give those a couple more minutes, those ribs, because remember, we are going to still sauce them. We're saucing. Get this open. Let's get our probe out. We don't need that anymore. And I don't care about the temperature in the drum neither anymore. So I'm going to get those off. Grab these ribs. Let's take a look at those. Oh yeah, those are definitely tender. Not much pullback, but they are definitely tender. I'm going to try to get these off. Woo! And out of this foil. Oh man. Let me get this off. Oh man, I just Okay, and then we got this new sauce I found at the store. It's called Jim Beam Smoky Barrel. How appropriate. Barbecue sauce, and it's got charcoal, chipotle, which remember our seasoning in our rub was chipotle, and a touch of molasses, so a little bit of sweet, with a lick of America's #1 bourbon, Jim Beam. Yeah, we're going to give her a shot. And I'm just going to put some on there and rub her around. Just like that. And we're going to flip them over. Like this. And pour some right down the center. Now we're going to let these tack up for 10, 15 minutes until they look like we want them to look. So we'll bring you back. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. We're going to take a look at them, see how they look. See if it's tacked up enough for us. I tell you what, they're not looking bad. I think I'd like to see maybe another 3 or 4 minutes. And then we're going to take them off. Okay, so now we're going to take off the ribs. Yeah, they got a nice color to them. That rub really put a good color on them. So we're going to go in. We're going to wrap for about 20 to 30 minutes. And we're going to let the beans continue to go. Okay, so we got the ribs inside. Now all we're going to do is just tent them. Tent them with a little foil for about 20-30 minutes. So I'm just going to grab another piece of foil. And we'll just stick them just loosely. Nothing crazy. Just like that. And we'll let it set for about 20-30 minutes. Okay, and here's where my microphone died on me, so I'm going to have to recap this for you. Here I'm uncovering the ribs, showing you what they look like. Nice pullback, nice color. Good looking set of baby backs. Here I didn't even really need the knife. I could have just pulled it and ripped it right in half, but I'm going to bring you in and show you how juicy they were. Looking really good. Little presentation on the cutting board for you. And then here I'm going to come in. I'm just going to rip me a chunk off. These are bite off the bone ribs. You can see, boom, pulled right off. And the chef gets to taste a taste. Oh yeah, it was good. Now what I do have to tell you guys, we'll recap real quick. So we made our own sweet heat rub. We seasoned the ribs, got them on the smoker. 2 hours we wrapped. They remain wrapped for about another hour and 15 minutes. Then we sauced them. Then we let them tack up for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, right in there. And brought them in, tented them for 20 to 30 minutes. And it was time to eat. And there's my reaction right there. Enjoy. You can do this too. Heat of the Drum.